Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are going to be dealing with two types of crops that are in season right now. First being peaches and second being corn. I have both in my fridge, both need to be used, and so we are going to make a delicious, slightly spicy peach corn salsa. So I hope you stick around and let's get started. Okay, so this is the canning book that we are going to be using today, and also I apologize in advance if this video is a little wobbly. My tripod broke, so I will be filming it a little differently today, but this is where the original recipe comes from. I have it linked down in the description box. This is an amazing book to have. I am going to be switching up the recipe slightly to go with the ingredients that I have on hand. However, I am not changing any of the acidity to this recipe, and I feel like that's really important to say. You want to make sure, especially when you are water bath canning, which is what we are going to be doing, that you keep the acidity level exactly how it's been tested. Because if you have your acidity too low, then it's going to be unsafe to keep on the shelf. Okay, so the first thing down in the bottom of the pan is, and this is a heavy bottom stock pot, is 3.5 cups of finely chopped peaches. Now these have been peeled, cored, yada yada. 3.5 cups, or about 1.5 pounds, but to that I am adding 3.5 cups of fresh corn, a 1/4 cup of lime juice, 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. Okay. And here I have added 2 teaspoons of salt, and you want to make sure it's non-iodized salt. I use Himalayan pink salt for everything. A 1/2 teaspoon of ground thyme, a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. This is optional because it is going to make it spicy. And then 2 teaspoons of garlic, granulated garlic, or you could use fresh garlic, couple teaspoons of that. And then lastly, we are adding 3 tablespoons of chipotle in adobo, and I have taken out the peppers and just chopped them. It is not an easy task to do because they are slippery, but this is what I'm talking about. So I took out, you can see a pepper right there. I just took out the peppers and chopped them until I got 3 tablespoons worth, and that's what I used. And then this, you can put in a little Ziploc baggie and freeze it, and it'll keep really well. Okay, so I've stirred everything up, but I'm going to give you a wonderful tip. So first, can we talk about how pretty this looks with the little chipotle peppers? So pretty. And the original recipe also calls for a cup of finely chopped red bell peppers. I can't have red bell. I can have green, but I can't have red. And so I just omitted it. Like I said, I am using a slightly different version than what is in the book, but it would look even prettier with that pop of red. But do not turn your stove on yet. So this comes together very quickly, as you saw, and then it only heats for about 5 minutes. We just want to heat it up, and you have to be stirring it while we're doing that because we have very little liquid in this dish. So I advise, before you turn your stove on, to go ahead and get your jars ready, get your lids ready, get your canner ready. We'll be water bath canning this, so it takes a hot minute for that to heat up. So just go ahead and get everything ready first, and then heat up your salsa, because like I said, it's only going to take 5 minutes, and then we can start ladling into the jars. So we want to make sure everything else is ready first. So I will bring you back when this has heated through for the 5 minutes. Okay, so here's what it looks like. You can see we still don't have a lot of liquid. That is perfectly fine. We didn't put a lot of liquid in. But this is now heated through. It's nice and hot. It's going to go with our nice hot jars that are rocking and rolling in the canner. So let's get this canned. And also, it smells amazing. Let me go ahead and give you a little taste test. You guys. So good. So, this just, it screams summer. The chipotle and adobo give it a nice smoky finish, which just goes marvelous with the peaches and the corn. It's not sweet. It's not too tangy. It's just, this is really, really good. It's going to be so awesome to have during the winter. Now, I'll say again, it is spicy because I added the teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You can omit that if you don't want it too spicy. I say hotter the better. I like it on the spicier side because the chipotle in adobo is more smoky versus spicy, in my opinion. Like, it has spice, but it's not like bam spice, which is what I wanted. Alright, so I have you up nice, close, and personal. These were in the water bath canner as it was heating up. I have very hard water, so that is what that is. I always put vinegar in when I go to boil, and that'll stop that from happening, but they were in there for a hot minute while I was waiting for the corn salsa to heat up. So, we are canning in 1/2 pints, and you want to get it to a 1/2 inch of headspace. And then you want to debubble. Since this is a thicker recipe. Alright, and make sure everything is right at that 1/2 inch mark, which is right about there. Here is 1 inch, and then up here is your 1/4 inch. So the 1/2 inch is right in there, right in the sweet spot. So, you then want to take towel, and then I like to use vinegar. Wipe the rim of your jar. You also want to check, make sure there's no nicks. These are brand new jars, so there shouldn't be any, but I still check anyway. Lid and ring, fingertip tight, and then this is going to go sit in the canner and wait for the rest of them, and you can see how pretty that is. So pretty. So just to show you what I'm talking about, I have my rack raised. Wow, and that just tipped over. Ooh, that's gonna be hot. I have it raised, so that's where the filled jars are gonna sit. They're gonna sit right like there until all the rest are done, so that it's staying hot, but it's not completely submerged, cooking, canning, whatnot. So I'm gonna get the rest of these done, and then these will can for 15 minutes in a water bath canner. You may have to adjust for altitude, so make sure you check that. But for my altitude, it is 15 minutes, and then we will take the lid off, let them rest with the heat off, lid off for another 5 minutes before we take them out of the canner. Okay, I've had a couple questions here recently on this, so I wanted to go ahead and tell you now. So when you're, got peaches on my hand. When you're water bath canning, you want to wait until it comes to a rolling boil with the lid on before you start your timer. And also, you want to have the liquid line at least 1 inch above your jars. If it's going to be a longer canning process, go closer to 2 inches, because at all times during the canning session, you want to have 1 inch of water above your jars. Okay, so here is the finished product. They are still nice and hot, but aren't they gorgeous? Now, the recipe said that you'd get 6 1/2 pints, and we got exactly 6 1/2 pints. I'm talking like scraping the side of the bowl. So, super happy with this, and I will definitely be adding more. But I wanted to show you this recipe because it is definitely one to have. Not only for summertime, because I'm telling you, it is really hard to not open up these jars and use them. But I'm telling you, once you wait until fall, winter, when you no longer have fresh veggies and fresh fruit, this is going to be a go-to, because you're just going to open up the jar and it's going to be summer. It's summer in a jar. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you try out the recipe for yourself, and I will see you all on my next one. Thanks for watching.